blood thicker than water. But remember, the name is on it. What's up, family? What's happening? How you doing? Hope you're good. It's Thursday, 6:30. It's time to go to a little shopper. What's happening with you? Welcome to the Anti-Negativity Network. Back here again to make it do what it do. And I'm so grateful and thankful to be here. Hopefully you're doing well and off to a great year so far and making some things happen, getting some things done, beginning to put some things in place and making some things happen. So hopefully that's what's going on. But hey, it's Thursday, 6:30. We about to do this. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be here again. And after 2 weeks, I get to have my wife back on here. We're going to try this thing again. Let's go. Let's go. Let's add her up in here. Let's get her back on here. There we go. Yeah.
Finally worked.
It finally worked. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited. My wife is with me. Yeah. So we're going to do this. So you got anything you want to say to everybody?
Hello.
Once you get your camera straight.
Yeah, that's okay. Trying to get straight. Miss you all.
Okay. There we go. All right. So you got it straight? You still wobbling a little bit. You got
Yeah, straight.
it? All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and get started. Um, and but y'all know what we always do. What we always do. Let's go. On the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right, all right, all right. Them deep breaths is good.
Yes,
That's some good.
good. I
That's
kind of remind myself when I take the deep breaths. I kind of say, I love myself when I take those deep breaths.
there you go. There you go. There you go. Gotta be good to yourself. Gotta be nice to yourself. Hey, Mama Jane. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Glad to have you on here with us, hanging out with us again. We appreciate you. We love you. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into this because I know my wife is really itching to get into this one right here, chapter 34, because there's a whole lot going on up in chapter 34. But let me set the table a little bit here. But before we go into chapter 34, at the end of chapter 33 last week, remember that was when in chapter 33 we had Jacob actually reunited with his brother. So he finally crossed that bridge after 20 plus years. Finally got to see his brother again, and everything went reasonably well, right? But he still was on guard a little bit. He wasn't sure, so he took some steps and he took some actions to make sure that you know he wanted to show some love to Esau, and they did that. But he also wanted to make sure that Esau didn't try to set him up for something, right? So he took some precautionary measures, and one of those other precautionary measures he did was that when Esau went back home, Jacob actually went the other direction, and he ended up getting to a land called Shechem, Shechem. Shechem. I might not be saying it the right way, but that's how it's spelled, and that's what's in the Bible. So he went to this land and he purchased some land from Hamor, I had to write Hamor, and his sons. Okay, purchased some land. So then he set up tents and made sure his family and his household and everything was set up. And so here we are. When we in the
Yeah,
land of
and
Shechem.
God didn't tell Jacob to go to Shechem,
You're
but Jacob
absolutely
took it
right.
upon himself to
You're
go there. So that's a
absolutely.
conflict right
There
there.
you, Hey, that's a good point right there, man. That's a good point. Good point. Because he took it upon himself to go there just because, this is, and the Bible didn't say it, but this is just in my mind. So let me make sure that I'm clear on that. The Bible didn't say this, but in my mind, because again, he's after 20 plus years, knowing what he did back in the day to Esau, coming in contact with Esau, he's still not sure. He's still trying to protect his and make sure everything is good because he's still not exactly sure how Esau going to be. Esau could have been setting him up for something in his mind. But nevertheless, to your point, babe, you're right. God did not tell him to go to Shechem,
Hmm.
but he did that on his own and set up shop. And now here we go with chapter 34. Here we go. Let's go hit chapter 34 because yeah, man, just that point right there might be the reason why chapter 34 worked the way it did.
Exactly.
And so how here we have. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. If many of y'all remember, Jacob did have a daughter. Her name was Dinah, Dinah. That's just the way I'm choosing to pronounce it. That might be wrong, might be Dinah, I don't know. But we're gonna say Dinah. That's her name, okay? And so Dinah is, hanging out with the family and everything. She goes, all right, I want to go see my girls. I want to go hang out with my girls, right? So that's what she did. Now, in the process of her going to see her girls, that's when things went left. Shechem, which is actually the son of Hamor, who was actually named after the land that they're in as well. So just make sure you understand, there's a Shechem that lives in Shechem. He's the son of Hamor, okay? All right, and so Shechem sees Dinah, and he got to have Dinah. And he got to have Dinah to the point where he literally goes and rapes her. Just call it what it is. He raped her. Now, man, you want to jump in right there, or you want me to keep going?
I can.
Go ahead. I, I,
We can
I
park
know
our
you ready.
car at this moment in time here.
Go
Um,
ahead.
One of the interesting facts is we we don't hear much about Dinah.
Uh-huh.
We hear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and hear about the 12 tribes of Israel, which was the sons of Jacob.
Uh-huh.
But uh,
And
we
some
don't
of his
hear much about
grandsons.
Dinah, until we're actually reading this and we see this story,
Uh-huh.
um, which lets me know that, Dinah was a very important character here in this Bible,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that we should hear more about Dinah,
Uh-huh.
and her situation and her story. Because again, as you said, here we have a rape here in
Uh-huh.
Genesis in the
Yep.
beginning of the Bible,
Yep.
and this child was raped by Shechem, and it just, even to and she had no voice about it. And even
Yeah.
today, I don't have the exact facts, but even today, women are being raped. Like 1 in 5 women are raped or sexually assaulted. So again, that's today.
Yeah.
That's what's going on today.
Yeah.
That percentage is high. 20, 30, 40% of women are experiencing the same thing that Dina is
Yeah.
experiencing. And I'm just surprised that no one knows this and no one knows her,
Right.
because she's a witness that, hey, I've been through this.
Yeah.
And back in Genesis.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Ron.
So right. And so I think the thing that got me, and so again, Dana has gotten raped, but now Shechem, I know you said Shechem, I said Shechem,
Okay,
same
second.
person.
That's fine.
But please, the thing I got from this, because after he did this, it wasn't like his feelings for her just went away. It sounded like his feelings for her got even deeper. Like he was willing to now do whatever he could do to have her as his wife, right? He just had to have her. And so Shechem, and his father actually go to Jacob to try to negotiate what can I do? What can be done? Now, Jacob is aware of what took place. It didn't say how Jacob found out, but Jacob found out what happened. Jacob's sons was out in the field, but Jacob didn't say anything to the sons until they actually came in. But it also reading this sounds like something went down where the sons knew about this before they actually got in the house, right? So word got around that this rape took place, but Shechem and Hamor are going to Jacob to find what can they do to possibly have Dinah as his wife. And the thing that popped in my head, and this is maybe you can answer this question, baby, or it's like, what would make you think after what you have done to her that she would really want to be with you? You violated her against her will. What makes you think? But we also have to look at the custom. You know, it wasn't like the women were I mean, you even think about Jacob's wives, right? Um, or we can go back even further, where it was one of those situations where the husband or the man said, "That's who I want," and heck, they were even selling. They were even sell like that's how Leah and Rachel ended up with Jacob because they were paid. Their father was, I forget, Laban. Laban got paid for his daughters to marry Jacob. And so here we go with another situation right here. He has violated her, but then he still wants to turn around and have her as his wife. But
Yeah.
it's almost like, to your point, she has no say in this. And that's, to me, that's, oh, wow. Wow. Go ahead, baby.
Well, yeah, I mean, it happens today too,
I know.
where,
I
a
know. I
person
know.
is violated, but the person ends up with their violator,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
And
No, there's not every time, but
yeah, and
yeah.
also, what I thought about too, like thinking about Shechem. I don't know how old he was
Right.
because they didn't really mention
Right.
how old he was, and I don't know how old Dinah was.
Uh-huh.
But in today too, um, speaking on Shechem's behalf, you have a lot of young men, or a lot of men that is over 18 per se,
Uh-huh.
and they fall in love with 13, 14, 15, 16-year old, and you know the parents don't want them to mess with their younger daughter, and a lot of these young men are going to jail for rape,
Right.
you know
Right.
and so basically their life is ruined,
Mhm.
as well too.
Right.
So
So
it's like
you do have some of that going on out here.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not as easy to decipher or understand or put it in a box.
Right.
It's a double-edged
Right.
sword that's going on now too.
Right.
But my point is, these things are discussed in Genesis.
Right.
You know,
At the very beginning.
at the very beginning.
Uh-huh.
It's nothing new under the sun. These things are
Absolutely.
discussed. It was difficult back then, and it's extremely difficult now
Yeah.
to deal with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as we go on to the rest of this story, now the brothers have learned what has happened, and so they come in from the field, and they not happy. They are seriously bothered, and now they're looking to vindicate their sister. Because what this guy has done, and so what it says is that, okay, so Shechem and Hamor, they in the house talking to Jacob, and now the sons come in. So then the sons, now they want to address this situation, right? And they know what is taking place. And Hamor and Shechem are doing all they can to negotiate with them on trying to get Dinah. And so, one interesting thing that happened here is that it said in the Bible, I'm actually going to read exactly what it says. It said, Jacob's sons answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully. Now that word stuck out to me. That word stuck out to me to the point that I even Googled, because I want you to get the definition of deceitfully. Deceitfully, according to the dictionary on Google, it says in a way that's dishonest because it involves telling lies and making somebody believe things that are not true. That's what deceitfully means. And so that's what, so now this is the table that's set now. Okay. Come on,
Uh,
babe. What you got?
the
'Cause-
same thing. It's just deception
yep.
that's been going on since
Yep.
we started Genesis. More deception. Here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, we got more
More
deception. We can go back
deception.
chapters. We can go back to multiple chapters where we can talk about some deceit taking place. Heck,
Yes.
Jacob himself did some deceit with his own brother. So, but we can go back even further with that. But anyway,
Right.
but here we got some more deceit going on. Sean Lee, love you, man. But look, man, this is just crazy, right? Because now the brothers are now taking matters into their own hand. You don't even hear anything about Jacob anymore for a minute, saying anything. Like the brothers have taken this on. It's like, okay, all right, I tell you what, if y'all wanna, if you wanna, I tell you what, you and all your men gonna have to be like us and go get yourself circumcised. Okay, so now they done went back to Abraham and the covenant that God had made with Abraham and all his descendants, saying, you're going to have to get circumcised. When you get circumcised, and I know it'll remind me of my covenant that I made with you, right? And so they using that, right, to make sure all these guys do what they want them to do, okay? But they really just setting them up because remember, it was deceit. They did this all under deceit. So all the guys, well, Hamor and Shechem say, okay, that sounds reasonable. We'll do that. So they go and do that. And they all the guys, they go and tell all the guys, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go get ourselves circumcised, and then we're gonna be able to marry their wives, they're gonna marry our wives, and we're gonna intermarry, we're gonna intermingle, and we're gonna all be one society, working together, loving one another, helping each other, growing, all of that stuff, right? Pie in the sky. Come on, baby. Come
Yeah,
on.
so one thing I wanted to mention was Jacob agreed with Hamor to give Dinah over
Right,
to
right,
Shechem,
right.
and Dinah was living in Shechem's house, living with Shechem
Yeah,
while all this was going on.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted to make
yeah.
that
You
point.
you you
So the
jumping ahead.
father agreed, okay, cool, but the
Yeah.
sons
Yeah.
have different
Yeah,
different plots.
yeah, that's where we're going. That's where we're going. Because, like I say, the sons decided they're going to take this in their own hands. And because that word deceitfully still sticks out, we cannot forget that word in this chapter right here, simply because that's, they made this agreement, but they ain't really mean what they said.
They had their fingers
Okay?
crossed behind the
Yeah,
back.
yeah, they had their fingers crossed behind their back, shoestrings, arms, everything crossed, right? But they missed all of that. And so all these guys go and do it. And ironically, after they have all did it, all of them went and got circumcised, it says, well, it was Simeon and Levi. They waited. Now, Simeon and Levi was the ones that was really, well, all the sons, but they were the they were the main two right here setting this thing up. And they waited a couple of days after they got it done where these guys was hurting. They waited. They waited till they guys really couldn't do much for themselves because they was in so much pain after getting circumcised. And guys, we know you mess with that, you know we shut us down, right? You mess with that part of our body, we shut down for a minute, right? And so what these guys actually had to go through was a surgical procedure, and I don't think they had no lidocaine back then. I don't think they had nothing that could numb it. They just had to go through the pain. So a couple of days after they done got this thing done, now here come Levi and Simeon, and they go and gut all of them like a fish, kill all the men. They go and kill all the men, and then after they go kill all the men, the other brothers come and they gonna loot the town. So all the brothers band together because and not only did they loot the town, but they went into the house where Dinah was and took her out and said, "Come on, we're going back home. No, y'all ain't gonna have her because I done killed you anyway, so you can't have her." Right? So they done killed all the men. That includes Hamor, the father, and Shechem, the son. They even killed all of them, and then looted and took everything that they had. So now, remember I said earlier, I said blood is thicker than water. But remember your name. Remember your name. Jacob now addresses his sons at the end. And Jacob is not feeling warm and fuzzy. Jacob is not a happy person. Matter of fact, Jacob is now fearing for his own life and his own household now, simply because of what his sons did. What his sons did now has tainted his name. But now, to your point from the very beginning, babe, this is another reason why we have to seek Christ. We got to seek God on the things that we do and the moves that we make. Because we could just well make the wrong move and we set ourselves up. And your name is on it. And that's what happened here. Because had Jacob did exactly what God told him to do, because God had told him to go back home. But he decided to go a different direction and go to Shechem. And now his daughter ends up getting raped. And then his two sons want to vindicate their sister, and now Jacob is now fearing for his own life. And it probably wouldn't have happened had he did exactly what God told him to do. Something for us to think about and chew on. Come on, babe.
Yeah, so we all struggle with that
Yes,
situation,
absolutely.
whether or not we want to um, get revenge on a
Yeah,
person for doing us wrong,
yeah.
or whether or not we want to forgive. And I think Simeon and Levi made the decision they're gonna get
They
revenge
don't get
on that
revenge.
person. So
And
and
they double
they
down on
did
it.
they did it when the guys were in the most vulnerable
Yep,
state,
yep,
and
yep.
um,
And
oftentimes,
they
if
set
we
them up to put
plotting
them in that.
revenge,
Yeah.
that's what we looking for
Yep.
when the person is in the most vulnerable state, like
Yep.
sleep or
Yep.
or
Yep.
something of that
Yep.
nature.
Let me catch you by
Let me
surprise. Yep.
catch you by
Uh-huh. Yep.
surprise, etc. So
That's exactly
it's
what they did. And again, that word from the very beginning I talked about, deceitfully. That's exactly what they did. This in a deceitful manner. They did this knowing, hey, we just setting you up. We setting you up for the kill because I'm gonna get you back. You kill my dog, I'm gonna kill your cat. That's exactly what they did right here. And then when their father, Jacob, addressed them, like I said, they doubled down on it because at the very end they said, a matter of fact, I'm gonna read exactly what they said. But they said, should he be permitted to treat our sister as a prostitute? That's their response to Jacob. Even after Jacob told them, what you have done has now caused me to fear for my life. And now I may lose my house, my household, my name, my life. I'm gonna lose everything because the folk that have heard about this, those men that remain are gonna band together and now they're gonna come after me simply because of what you did to get revenge for what happened to your sister. So I guess what we get out of this today is that, granted, people do some stuff to you. Some people have done some stuff to you that it's tough. It's tough to overcome. It's tough to deal with, and we want to get back at them. Let's just be real. Our flesh wants to say, you know what? You got me. Now I'm gonna get you. I ain't even gonna let you. I'm gonna set you up, but I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. But we got to be careful because you just might not be doing the right thing. God does say, "Revenge is mine. Vengeance is mine," says the Lord. That's scripture. He has said that. I know sometimes it's hard for us to allow that to happen because we want to do it. But I really believe if we, in some of these situations, if we just allow Him to work on our behalf, it'll turn out better because you just might mess up something that's even bigger because you're trying to get vengeance. So I just want to encourage you, take a step back for a second. I know you're mad. I know you're upset, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be. You absolutely should be, especially if somebody has violated you or violated one of your family members or your children. That's a tough piece to deal with, absolutely. But sometimes when we look at those moments, we can get lost in that moment and we forget the big moment or the big picture. So make sure that we are taking time to seek God and take a step back for a second. Take that deep breath. Take 3 of them like we do. If you got to take more than that, do it. I just want to encourage you before you respond, before you go back at them to go get revenge, take a step back for a second. Because what I don't want you to do is to lose something more than what you've already lost. That's pretty much all we got for you, baby. You got anything?
no, that's it.
That's it. So we're gonna shut it down with that. Thank y'all again for tuning in and hanging with us. 6:30 on Thursdays. Love this time. This is a special time, and I'm really excited because after 2 weeks, my wife was on here with me again. So we here. We made it do what it do, and we give God praise for that. So look, you keep going, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, so you can get better than what you were yesterday. There's no quitting. That's not an option. Quitting is not an option. Continue to move forward. Seek Him first because He got you. Seek Him first because I promise you, He's going to direct your path. And that vengeance that you're trying to get, He got that. Trust him. He got that. You focus on what he got you doing, because the enemy sometimes will use those things to try to get you away from what God wants you to do, try to steal your focus. No, it ain't gonna work. Seek him. Stay focused on him. He got you. I promise you. And he gonna handle that. All right? Love you. So
Love you.
pray, plan, prepare, proceed. Go make it do what it do. We're
What
gonna
it
see you
do.
next week at
All
6:30.
right.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.